Hello, welcome to Board Deck and Dice. I am once again joined by the miniature little Board Deck and Dice, and today we're looking at, I don't know if you've done any Kickstarter reviews before, but this is a Kickstarter preview of Gobblin Goblins. So bear in mind that when we look at the cards and stuff, it's a prototype. Okay, you're spinning them all around the right way. Okay. Gobblin Goblins is a card player game that says it's for 2 to 12 players. We'll talk about that later. And it's a take that set collection game. So you are trying to get the most food that you like into your belly. Let's take a look at Gobblin Goblins. In Gobblin Goblins you have 12 different character cards. They give you your special power on the front, and on the back they tell you some things. What do they tell you at the top here?
I can't read things.
I know, but what is it? What you
can't eat?
No,
Like,
at the
what's
top
your
is
favourite
what your favourite food to eat. So Monday Tumfluff likes to eat sprouts and flip-flops, and it also tells you what colour these cards are.
Right.
Food comes in one of 6 colours, doesn't
Yeah.
it? And there's a special food that comes in all 6 colours. What was that? Can you remember? Biscuits.
There's biscuits.
Yeah. And then we have what Monday Tumfluff hates, which is a rusty old pylon, and is allergic to all orange foods. The power that this hippie has is that they are immune to distraction cards. We found that quite powerful, didn't we?
Yeah.
So this will be placed in front of someone, and there's all different cards, and you're recommended to play with different types. There's 2 of each type. You're recommended to play with different types with the lower player counts for balance. So this will go in front of you, so everyone knows what you are allergic to and all that. Then you will take, let's show you the other card. So biscuit is a type of food. Biscuits are also worth points at the end.
Can I do the funny one?
Yes. And that's a wild card, so that can be any type of food. Blue, all the clean towels. Orange, smelly socks. Remember, my character was allergic to orange.
Yes.
Blue.
My character was allergic to blue.
Yeah. Bogies. What's this one?
White dog poo.
White dog poo.
Poos.
And then we have 2 other types of card. One is an action card, and this can be played on your turn only. This one's explosive diarrhea. Everyone apart from you must take 2 gobbled cards if they have them and put them on their plate. And put them on the first on the plate to the left and the second on the plate to the right. That's an action card. And this is a distraction card. This may be played at any time and you get to replenish. Put a food card from your plate onto another goblin's plate. So if you have something in front of you that makes you allergic, you can put that on another person's plate.
We play this because I really want
We can play this after we've filmed.
Yes.
Maybe later on when we've got mummy, because 3 players are better than 2. Okay, so what will happen is you will get dealt 5 cards in a 2 to 6 player game, I think it is. And then on your go, you will play a card to the table if it's a food, which is called your plate, or if it's an action, you play it to the discard pile and take the action. When you get a set of 3 of the same colours, remember this is wild, you can gobble them into your belly. Anything in your belly will score. Of course, at the minute, they're all orange, so I would get -1 point for each. But in general, you get 1 point for each food you eat, unless it's something you love, in which case you get 2 points. If it's something you hate, you get -2. If it's something you're allergic to, you get -1.
When it was mine, my favourite was
Gold.
gold on something else.
I can't remember. Now, the other way to get food into your belly, other than cards, is to get 6 of the different colours, and then you eat them all immediately as soon as you get that. Action cards and distraction cards let you interfere with people's plates and with food that people have gobbled. So even when you've gobbled it, it's not safe, is it? Because you can make people have explosive diarrhea, and also, what else can you make them do?
You can make them sick and back up.
Make them sick and back up. You play on like this till the stack is emptied, and one player can't go anymore. Okay, and that is basically how you play greedy Gobblin Goblins. Once that end condition has happened, you all count up what's in your belly. There are some rules about what's left in your plate. That goes to the person to the left, doesn't it? So if you know the end's coming, you can fill your plate with horrible food for the person to the left because they will have to eat it. Then you count up the points, and the person with the most points wins. So that is Gobblin
Goblins.
Goblins, and I keep want to call it Greedy Goblins because we've got another game called Greedy Goblins. But that's not about food, is it?
No, that's about blowing people's minds up.
Well, minds, not minds. Although I'm sure this review is blowing your mind.
Haha.
And that other game doesn't have white dog poos in, does it?
No.
What do you think about the theme of this game, about all these cards?
I think it's good, and I think it's like how they've done it is quite. I don't know how to say it. Kind of funny because there's like kind of nose people going up his nose. So
okay, so you're talking about the artwork.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm a bit more mixed on the artwork. The style is not exactly to my taste.
Oh, these are mine.
But
These are
there is a level of detail which is quite amusing, like the bogies are climbing out of the goblin's nose, and there's all kind of extra little details. So it is quite nice, and to be honest, for the theming, it's quite funny. You've laughed a lot at this, didn't you?
And I found my favourite.
Oh yeah, you wanted golden grot noodles. There's also fart machines and all sorts. And when I've played this with younger crowds, there is a lot of laughter. The mechanics work well. They're not the deepest or most original mechanics, but there's some nice thematic flavour to them. So you're putting things onto your plate and then you're gobbling them. But essentially it is set collection. You're trying to collect what you want and make it a bit safer by putting it into your piles. What did you think about player powers?
I thought the one that my dad had was quite good, but I thought the other ones were not so good because you have to get 6 to gobble them, and my power was to get 5 to gobble them, but I don't think no. I think if they were better powers, I don't know, 3 to gobble them.
So it might have been a bit more even if I didn't have the hippie. Yeah, I think the hippie is, especially in lower player count games, fairly overpowered because essentially you can never play a distraction card on the hippie. So it comes down to choice again, doesn't it? So you could only ever play that on Mummy. Food poisoning makes everyone vomit.
Do you know what I did? I did that once, and then I got everyone to. So then I picked up another card, and then I got the exact same one again. So I did the exact same thing.
He made us all vomit twice, and in the game.
Thank you.
The other thing I would say is, on the negative side, and it says 2 to 12 players. I played it with 10. It was a nightmare. Now, when you play with that many players, you get less cards in your hand, and by the time it comes back round to you, anything that you have planned to do, you can basically forget. So you would think that a game where you're playing a card and picking up a card would play quite quickly, even at 10 players. But what you've planned to do has changed so much. You've got to spend so much time looking at what everyone else is allergic to and what they like before you put it on your plate, that unless you're just going to agree to play it for a silly fun of discovering the cards and seeing how many people you can make puke, then I would not recommend probably more than 6. I think 6 is as many as you would like for this game, because actually at that count there are decisions to be made. You have to decide whether you focus on getting what you like or trying to wreck other people's plans, which can be done quite easy. And there's a lot of fun to be had as long as you're someone who doesn't find the theme unappealing. But kids are going to love this. It draws in a crowd. They want to look at all the funny cards. The idea that they're eating this food then is fantastic. This is not the best game in the world by any stretch of the imagination. The mechanics are there. They're simple. They are what they are. It's set collection would take that. But the theme just adds on top of that to make it a fun game. A game that can be played relatively quickly as long as you keep the player counts to a maximum of 6. If you want to go up to 12, it's up to you, but I think to remain the most positive about this game, my advice is to avoid that. Like I say, the artwork is It is what it is. I think it works for the theme. It's not particularly my favourite drawings, but you really liked it, didn't you?
I love the art.
And like I will say, the details, the extra details on the almost make that forgivable. There is a lot of reading on the cards, which you're not quite there for, so we did have to play quite open hands, but you still had a lot of fun, didn't you?
Yeah.
And even though Daddy won, you didn't mind.
No.
And in some games, if I win, you don't like it, do you?
No.
But this one, you had fun anyway. So who would you recommend get this game when it's on Kickstarter?
I think everyone should.
Even people who don't like poo jokes?
Yeah. I don't care.
Okay, there you go. It will cure you if you don't like poo jokes. And you can put that quote on the Kickstarter page from Little Board Deck and Dice. We think there's a lot of fun to be had here. Just bear in mind the lightness, the player count is not for me, and bear in mind the humour. But if none of those things are a problem for you, which they aren't for us, then you're going to have a lot of fun here. Thanks very much for watching. We will see you next time on
Board Deck and Dice.
Did you mean board as in you are bored, or board as in board game?
Bored. I'm bored.
Okay, thanks.
I'm just kidding. Board Deck and Dice.
Appreciate the work you're doing here.